We wake into this world with cries we do not understand. Our skin, our breath, our hunger, they become the first languages we learn. And so begins the illusion that we are bodies first, spirits second, that consciousness is a byproduct of chemistry, that the soul is somehow a metaphor, not a reality. But what if the opposite is true? What if we did not emerge from matter, but descended into it? What if this body, fragile, fleeting, aching, is not a cage, but a chalice? Teilhard de Chardin's words do not seek to escape the human condition. They pierce it gently, deeply, to reveal a truth long forgotten. We are not humans reaching upward toward spirit. We are spirit reaching inward through form. And so life is not a test, nor a punishment, nor a trap. It is a sacred journey of remembering. Each moment, no matter how mundane or painful, is not a distraction from enlightenment, but the very material through which it is woven. Enlightenment is not found in silence alone, nor in mountains or monasteries, but in the soft chaos of living, in washing the dishes, in heartbreak, in traffic, in laughter, in failure. We tend to think of the spiritual as something high, distant, untouchable, light that blinds or wisdom that dissolves all tension. But the spirit does not reject the world. It births it, it inhabits it, and it aches to awaken within it. We confuse transcendence with escape, but escape is fear in disguise, the fear of being here fully, vulnerably. True transcendence is not leaving this life behind, but embracing it so deeply that even its pain becomes sacred. We are not meant to rise above the world, but to descend into it with open eyes, to feel everything, even the things we were taught to fear, to taste the full range of this human experience not as punishment, but as alchemy. The ego resists this. It wants certainty, control. It wants to claim identity from form and permanence from the impermanent. But the soul is not afraid of being broken. It knows that cracks are how light finds its way in. It knows that embodiment is not a fall from grace, but the gateway to grace itself.
We were taught to label discomfort as failure, to pathologize sadness, to medicate silence, to fear stillness. But what if the aching void we flee from is not an enemy, but a portal? What if the darkness we dread is not an absence of light, but the womb of it? There's wisdom in every shadow, not in its coldness, but in its invitation. It asks nothing more than this: to be seen, not fixed, not fled, not conquered, just seen. For when the light of awareness touches what is hidden, it transforms, not by force, but by presence. And in that sacred presence, we begin to remember that we are not the roles we play, not the names we inherited, not the stories we cling to like shields. We are not the mask of personality, but the silence beneath the performance. We are not the waves, we are the ocean watching. To be human is not to fall from heaven, but to bring it down with us, to make the invisible visible, to give texture and time to the eternal. The body, the senses, the longings, all of them are brushstrokes on the canvas of the soul. Even our mistakes, especially our mistakes, become sacred ground when viewed through the eyes of spirit. For it is through them we learn the language of compassion. It is through suffering we are humbled, cracked open, made soft enough to feel not just our own pain, but the pain of others. And this, too, is awakening. Not the sterile awakenings of detachment, but the embodied awakening of presence, of walking barefoot through the garden of the world, unarmored, unhurried, unafraid to feel. Matter does not oppose spirit. It reflects it. It expresses it. It allows it to become visible, audible, tangible, even fragile. This fragility is not weakness. It is intimacy. And in that intimacy, something eternal stirs. Something that remembers itself through every heartbeat. Something that speaks not in words, but in wonder.
We came here not to escape the world, but to enter it fully, to taste it, to touch it, to lose ourselves so completely that only through forgetting we could remember. This is not a fall from grace. This is grace, unfolding in form. When we cry, it is the soul cleansing itself. When we laugh, it is the universe rejoicing in its own disguise. When we ache with longing, it is the divine pulling us back to center, not away from life, but deeper into it. The path of awakening is not a straight line upward. It is a spiral inward, into the bones, into the breath, into the dense forest of emotions we once feared to enter. It asks us to stop running, to stop numbing, to stop pretending we are only what can be touched or measured. It asks us to feel, not just joy, but grief, confusion, rage, to let them pass through us like storms without naming them as curses. Because nothing is wasted here. No tear, no tremor, no moment of doubt. Everything is raw material for the sculpture that lives in our chest. The sacred is not elsewhere. It is here, in the cracked cup, in the tired eyes, in the ordinary moment that you almost overlooked. And when we finally stop trying to transcend the human, we find the divine not above us, but within us. Not in some perfect silence, but in the trembling breath we take after a long cry. You are not broken. You are becoming. And each step, even the ones you regret, has led you to this moment of remembrance that you are not a human being reaching for spirit, but a spiritual being learning what it means to be human. So walk slowly, speak softly, hold gently, for this world is holy, not despite its pain, but because of it. In you, you are the living bridge between heaven and earth.